Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Writers Mindscape, the number one writing podcast on the 01 podcast group. I'm Tim.
I'm Adam.
Hey, we got it right that time.
Yes, we did.
All right, today we're diving into our new episode and our new topic of magic. Like we promised, these are episodic, and we're actually going to dive into how to use magic.
Yeah, how do you use magic in your world?
And not just in your world, in everyday use.
Yes.
So, one of the things you gotta look at is, like, when you're crafting your magic system is, what are the day-to-day applications for it?
Outside of, energy projection for a battle or whatever, how do you use it in your everyday life?
Exactly. How does it change the society that it's in? You cannot have magic and have a normal society like we have today.
Not really.
It changes everything. So we gotta look at that. One of the best examples of this, because it's not only just in book form, but it's also in movie form. Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time we actually see a magical family outside Hogwarts is the second book.
Yep.
And in the movies, they're using magic for everything.
Yeah, Ron's family, the dishes are being done through magic.
Cooking's being done, being prepared. You have a clock that tells you where everyone is.
Yes.
You can teleport places using the fire pit.
Yeah.
It's literally like all around you. The flying car.
Yes.
So that's a great example. Those are great examples, but you gotta tie. If you want to have that in your system, great.
Yeah.
But you have to have a system that applies that. You can't say my magic's based on congesting grass and allows me to produce energy blasts, and I can therefore make my a broom clean the room by doing the same thing. How the fuck does that happen?
I mean, unless your energy blast is allowing you to, at a distance, basically pick up. But then you're actually just using your energy to sweep the room without moving around and sweeping the room.
Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily work. So you have to have it work. So basically, one of the best examples in Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn, I know I use him a lot, but he's the magic guy.
Yeah, you do.
He's a magic guy. He loves magic systems. It's one of the reasons I think he started writing. He said one of the first books, his first books, and one of the lead into his Cosmere, he calls it Dragonsteel, won't be seen anytime soon because it actually tells the backstory of everything what the fuck is going on in his Cosmere story. But the current draft of that story is really focused on the magic and nothing else, really, he said.
Oh, wow.
It's like a little too much. And when you look at some of his stuff, a lot of it's focused on it. But apparently this is even way more.
Oh, okay.
So, you don't really want to do that. But Brandon Sanderson in the Mistborn series, we've talked about, he has 3 metals-based systems. And we'll be actually talking next week's episode on his 3 laws to refine your magic system.
Yep.
In more depth. But in the second era of the Mistborn world, because in this series, he's actually had a plan for a trilogy of trilogies.
Okay.
It's going to be the original Mistborn series, one taking place in, I guess it's supposed to be around, I keep hearing different things, current century like us, like I've heard 1900s, and I've also heard the 80s level technology. And then one more futuristic, sci-fi style. Well, he came up with a different story for something new that he ended up putting into the Mistborn era, where it deals with more cowboys and Indians, but not Indians, but it's more of a Western. Okay. Which is really cool. It's good. The final book that should be coming out soon, but it's not a trilogy, it's 4 books, actually.
Oh, wow.
But it's an interesting how he fleshes out the magic system. Where in the first trilogy, it's very wild and chaotic, where if you are Mistborn, you have all the powers. If you are Misting, you get one of them. He has changed it to everyone gets 1. But you can be a Twinborn with Ferrochemy. You can have one ability from there, and 1 Metalborn power in the New World. because ferrochemists could have all of them as well. So like it got limited, and there's a reason why that happens.
Okay.
It's a spoiler for the series. I don't want to go into spoilers.
Yeah.
Because I recommend everyone reading this. It's a great series. So, but it's a reason why a big change. He didn't forget anything. He
Did this on purpose.
Yes. But he fleshes. So there's new rules. So he has to come up with new ways of doing it. But he also fleshes out kind of technology. He introduces in later books. This is kind of a spoil, but I don't think it spoils too much. A flying ship and how it relates to magic.
Okay.
The Mistborn.
So
like,
in
a way.
using magic within your traveling abilities.
Yeah, he basically, I guess it's like a technology, if I remember correctly, something that when it's used, it actually kind of replicates what humans do for metal, so it creates a basically lift, like a telekinetic push,
Okay.
so it flies.
That's pretty cool.
So it's an enhancement of his magic system. So it's really one of those really great things about it.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is defining what your everyday person, if magic is that prevalent in your world,
Yeah.
how does the everyday person interact with magic?
Exactly.
Or are you limiting who it is that can use magic?
Exactly.
And if so, well then what about those people? And what about the people that are non-magic users?
Exactly. And
How do they react?
He covers that like in the Mistborn, like people, you'll see Mistborns with a mist coat on at night because the world's heavily plagued with mists at night.
Okay.
There's a reason for that. Again, spoilers. There's a lot of stuff. He does a really good job at intertwining everything.
Cool.
But like you'll see them out and about. Mistborns are basically can be used the assassins of great houses. So it's really kind of cool way of thinking about it. And if you're a Mistborn, you don't want to deal with them. A misting can be hard, especially if you're a pewter misting, because that makes you stronger. You can take more durability. Whereas so they can do some stuff, but like Mistborns have it all.
Okay.
So you don't want to miss them, and it kind of works that way.
I like how our everyday use became, let's talk about this guy's book.
I know, but it's a good example of contrary to Harry Potter,
Right.
where it's all over the place, and then it's very limited based system, in a sense, to outward.
Yeah.
Except for with technology, when you kind of develop. That's why I kind of went in that direction. But yes, it was very much that book. Because some of his other books I'd like to talk about, would use examples for, are a little bit more complex.
Okay.
Like his Stormlight Archive. That's supposed to be 10 books. Only 3 are out.
Oh, wow.
And yes, we get a good sense of the magic system there. It's still a lot to come, so I don't even want to dive into those. But anyway, it's a good example because, like I said, Brandon Sanderson is a magic guy. He loves magic systems.
Yeah, I mean, also look at any of the D&D books,
Yeah.
as a great example of where magic can come from.
Yeah.
What it can be used for.
Another example is I actually just you've heard of the series I Am Number 4?
No.
It was turned into a movie. It's based on a book series called The Lorien Legacies. Aliens. It's like a sci-fi alien, kind of fantasy in a sense because they have powers and all that. I just read a new one where they advance new powers, and how you can do it that way, and how technology evolves with alien technology and human technology after the original series is used to fight them. One example is a guy who gets impenetrable skin. It's actually not his full legacy. Later in the book, he finds out his full legacy.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. But for the most part, he thinks he's just tough. So one of the alien guards, because these are human guards, punches him. He grabbed a pillow. So his legacy doesn't. He sees it just. Oh, it's a pillow. It's not going to hurt. His legacy doesn't trigger, and he breaks his finger because there's rocks in it. So it was an interesting idea behind that. Like, it just kind of goes to show you, if you have superpower type magic system,
Yes.
and you want to make it so the normal people can fight them, you have to advance a new way, technology.
Find a limitation of
Yes.
in one way or another.
One of the things that can be a little tricky with everyday use magic, or especially with that system's magic system, is you'd get a new power as you needed at the time. So it could be a very Deus Ex Machina system.
Yep.
But it's doesn't fully solve the overall problem, but it's really kind of cool.
All right.
But it just kind of goes to show you your system and how you develop your magic will affect your everyday use of it.
Right. Right.
If you have an artifact-based system, that can be different things. You can actually have it so the normal people can use it because it's not a certain person can do it. It's whoever has the artifact.
Yeah. There's tons of examples of, magic wands.
Yes.
Where the wand has the magic. It's not somebody who's using it has to be able to tap into it. It's just like, I picked up this. Or somebody reads a scroll.
Yep.
Or there's a sword that has a specific ability.
Yes.
Anybody can use the sword.
Whoever's holding the sword.
It's just that sword will always be a flaming sword when it's drawn.
That's one of the primary magic systems of the Elder Scrolls video game series.
Right.
Is enchanted weapons.
Yes.
Or if you craft them, you can put stuff in there, pistol jewels, and charge them. It will, when you hit, it does fire damage as well.
Right.
So you can do stuff like that. There's actually funny that you made wands that just had the magic.
Yeah.
A series that I'm actually reading now called Schooled in Magic is for people who don't have magic, sorcerer or witch, whatever they want to be called. You can actually charge a wand with certain spells, give it to someone, and then they can just
cast a spell.
But even though that person doesn't actually have magic, so if they lose the wand...
Yeah, they're just normal again.
Yeah, and if sorcerers and sorcerers use them too, but it's usually weak sorcerers who don't really know magic, aren't really good at magic, who use wands. A good magician or sorcerer, because they use all the different terms in this book, doesn't need it, which is really cool.
All right.
So it all comes down to how you look at magic and how it affects your everyday world. Are there consequences? We'll get more into that later.
Yeah.
Of using it in everyday situation.
Exactly. Is that a limitation to your style of magic?
Yeah. Did you ever see the movie The Covenant?
Maybe.
The four families of Ichita, Mass. Eldest son has power.
No, I have not seen this.
It's an interesting movie. I wish they did more into more movies. Apparently, they didn't do as well. I like it, but basically, you have limited. Once you hit puberty, you have power. You don't get your full power until you turn 18. Well, every time you use it, it becomes more addicting. But the more you use it, the faster you age.
Okay.
So again, and they can kind of do whatever they really want. They actually get in a car accident early in the movie, and using their powers right before they hit, they kind of reassemble the car and don't die.
Oh, that's cool.
And this was before their full power.
Oh, wow.
It was also four boys using together. But anyway, it just kind of shows you like how it can be used every day. But again, it goes back to a cost or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting on how you can do it. But it's really, we did it last time. What you do with your system, it will determine what you can do every day, and everything else we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
No.
No?
No, not really.
The best way to think of this out is to figure out what you want to do and to see this is read a bunch of fantasy series.
Yeah.
Or just go to like the Wikia. Wikia, it's like a thing that for like websites where you can do like for fans, like actual talk.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Where it's not Wikipedia, but it'll be so and so's Wikia.
Yeah. Go and actually type in magic for that world and see how it works in everyday uses, stuff like that. Do research and see how that is, and especially systems that you're thinking about adapting. For that, that's the best way to go about doing this.
Yeah.
That's all we have for you today. Comment down below your thoughts on everyday use. Give us some ideas of what you think, how it can be used, how it can be a negative effect.
Yes.
And Adam, you had your thumbs up. That's
because
right.
I'm trying to give this show a thumbs up, much like you should right now.
Exactly. You make it to the end of the podcast, give us a thumbs up.
Yes.
Make sure you subscribe. Join the notification squad by ringing that bell. Just tap it nicely. You don't want to break your screen.
Give it a little tickle.
Just a little tickle. So you know when new videos go up in the 01 podcast group.
Yes.
And if you want to know more about writing, I do have a YouTube channel, T Green Books. I post new videos on Tuesdays where I talk about different topics. We are currently going through a series on characters.
Cool.
It is very episodical, so you don't have to all see all the videos. Though I do recommend you go and watch them. Other than that, have a great week and enjoy the writing. Have a good day.
See ya.